Hey, Donnie.
Good morning, pretty girl.
Oh, I've been rushing around.
Yeah.
I see my purse is back on the table, so that means Ruby's out there and ready to go. So my door will open for me this morning. I was giddy with joy when my door opened for me again yesterday.
I have to tell you, I actually manually opened the. I was just like, I mean, to close the. I just like I've already gotten out, out of the habit. It's terrible. I'll have to get back into habit.
I hear you. Well, it's raining out there this morning, so I'm going to scoot because I don't want to be late in the rain.
Right.
Thank you. Yep, it rained all night. Lots of rain. Cats are in the garage. Oh, I hear climate is on. It's going to be warm in my car, too. Good morning, Ruby. Hit the brake, shut the door. I love it. Yep, it's a good thing I caught that beautiful sunrise yesterday because we definitely are not going to see that today. My understanding is that we're going to have quite a good bit of rain and clouds through Saturday. So, yeah, this is not going away anytime soon. 44 out there. So as far as traffic is really smooth going into town this morning. We may be a few minutes later than I'd like to be, but I haven't had to fuss at anyone's driving yet today, so it's a good commute in. I was hoping Ruby would get another software update pushed out to her last night, but she didn't. She's still on 2019.32. I was hoping she was going to get 2019.36 something. I did want to let you guys know that the service credit we had, the one that we received in lieu of a Powerwall, again, that's not because we didn't want the Powerwall, but because the Powerwalls aren't available in our area, I guess all of North Carolina. There are quite a few referral program recipients on the Powerwall waiting list that accepted the $5,500 service credit. At any point, Ruby's repairs were covered by the service credit. I think we have maybe enough left for 2 tires. Ruby's tires are good right now, but you have a year to use the service credit, and I think our thought process was that before we needed to use them for the credit for repairs, and even now that we have that, whatever is available we would probably put into tires before the 1 year runs out. We don't have an exact date for when that is, but based on the email that asks us to accept that or not, it's sometime in the spring. So we're good for now. That was very nice not to have to use out-of-pocket money to complete the repairs. So again, to all the folks that used our referral code, we're very appreciative of that. Very appreciative. Everything on Ruby seems to be just like she was before we had the little off-road experience at the track. She's driving great. She looks great. I guess, the first time we go to detail her, maybe when we pay the most attention to the front end and, look her over super good. But, as far as we can tell, everything is great. So obviously I'm relieved. I'm glad to be back in Ruby. I'm loving my door opening for me again. I'm loving the roof, the glass up above me. I miss that. Of course, the newer Model S has more glass, for the roof than the older Model S did. But, yeah, I'm glad to be back in my Ruby girl this morning. She kept us safe out there on those wet roads. I did want to mention that Dawn and I did receive an invite to the Cybertruck event yesterday at the same time everybody else did. And we did not RSVP. And there were several factors there. the main one is that Dawn was just in Los Angeles area. And as you know, you get into the event, but you have to get yourself out to LA. And, you know, those plane tickets are not inexpensive. Plus, sort of had been there, done that. And then the other reason is that even if we got childcare for Johnny and got someone to come and pet sit the cats, I have robotics on the 21st, that afternoon, that Thursday, that I have to be at because that's our last meeting before competition. And then, of course, Saturday we compete. So I would never let the kids down because something better came up. It's not really better. It's just, you know, it is something I would love to have done, but I certainly would not back out of being there for the kids to do that. So, you know, Don and I both agree we would love to have either flown or even driven out to LA together and turned it into a trip and enjoyed the event. But that's just not working out for us right now. So there'll be lots of people we know out there, and I'm sure they'll do an excellent job on reporting what's going on with the truck event. In the background, you know, yeah, I wish I was there. I would love to go, or I would love to have sent Don so that I could live vicariously through him, but it'll be okay. I don't know if that means we'll still be on the list for a future event. I hope that it does. I hope they don't kick us off the list now because we did not RSVP here. I also hope that it didn't have the same harsh cutoff last time, because I know there were a lot of people that wanted to go to the Y, including us at the time, that didn't, you know, make it, that they had too many people respond. And I haven't heard that that's happening yet, and I hope they can accommodate more people this time.
Guys, it's cold out here. Why are we not in the garage? Huh? Why are we not in the garage?
Tux was asleep in there. Gray was up here on the porch, though. I am anointing you the patron saint of coffee.
Oh, thank you.
I woke up from my nap and I grumbled. I could barely function. And Dawn's like, kitten, would you like some coffee? Now that means a condensed cup with some heavy whipping cream, and that's it. I love sugar with my coffee. I love
no sugar
frappuccinos, but I can't have them.
That's right. We don't. Yeah.
So, but for what I can have, Dawn made me the best that I'm allowed to drink. That's keto friendly.
Yes.
So
heavy whipping cream will not break your fast or break the ketosis.
Yeah. I thank you.
You're welcome.
The safety of my driving thanks you.
Yes.
Dr. Ken says we can have coffee.
That's right.
Traffic's moving a little slow this afternoon. I got caught behind several slower moving cars in the right lane, but things have picked up a little bit now. Yeah, I don't think the conditions warrant doing 15 or 20 mile an hour under the speed limit. The only way it could be any nastier out there is instead of it being 47 degrees, it was 37 degrees. It's pretty yucky.
I'm glad you're home.
Yeah, me too. It's not nice out there.
Yeah, I could tell.
But you know what? It's blissful in comparison to what it's going to be like tomorrow.
Really?
Right. Tomorrow it's going to be the same temperature and the same rain.
Yeah.
And we're going to have 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and it's going to be howling, according to Mike Mays at WRAL, for basically the entire daylight day tomorrow.
Something's moving in or moving
Yes.
out.
It's not today is great in comparison to what tomorrow. I told our viewers the only way today's weather could have been worse is if it instead of being 46 or 47 in rain, if it was 30, 10 degrees cooler. That would, maybe even 20 degrees cooler would have been worse, but certainly. Yeah, so anyway.
I'm under my blankie.
So I see. I told him he should really take the day off from running. We don't want him out there in that nastiness running, right?
Yeah, that's
Be
right.
different if it was rainy and 70.
Right.
Then it might be sort of pleasant, but not rainy and 45. It's still raining. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. We may never see the sun again.
Oh, now.
Don's with me. He's going to drop me off at the door at Walmart so I can pick up a few things we need. We're getting ready to drop Johnny off for Taekwondo testing. So that's why we're out here in this mess. Otherwise, we wouldn't be out here in this mess. I mean, who needs a limo when you get that kind of service from your husband and your car? Definitely some new Hot Wheels added to the box over here. We traveled 98.9 miles today in Ruby with a whopping 480 watt-hours per mile staying warm in the car. So the Ford Mach-1.
Yeah. Well,
It looked pretty impressive.
right. I read the stuff on Electrek, and I've listened to a couple podcasts. I think it's first of all, my thoughts is I was a little surprised that it's going to be price competitive. You know, I do not see,
As in with the Model Y.
right, with the Model Y, it's going to be in the ballpark. You know, the EQC and the I-Pace and all those. I don't know that, maybe the I-Pace with the Model X, but I don't really consider the I-Pace. I know most people consider, but I think it's more closer to a Model 3. It's a smaller car. But it's the Mustang E is closer. I mean, it's in the ballpark price-wise with Tesla. So I was a little surprised because I would have thought that the first crack at a real EV, that they tend to miss the mark on the range. Everybody else, even the Taycan, the range on it is not what I would call impressive. The BMW, what's that little e-car they got?
i3?
i3, yeah, I mean, it's not, there's nothing to write home about that. So, you know, Ford is coming in there with reasonable range for the money. For the apparent money and the performance and the specs. And the other thing, I was very surprised that they're going to try to deliver it by the end of next year, which is wonderful. I think that's great. But I mean, had they came out with those specs, the miles and the range, the performance, and that price, and says, oh, well, we're going to deliver that in 2023, I would dismiss it. I wouldn't be positive at all, because a lot of things can change between now and 2023. But between now and end of 2020, there's not a lot of room for those guys to change, because I've listened to Bob Lutz on Autoline Detroit, and I know that those executives running the legacy car companies, they don't piss a drop that a bean counter didn't tell them exactly to the penny how much each drop of piss costs. So I know Ford has ran the numbers. This is why I believe, well, I think there's several reasons Toyota doesn't build an EV, but one of the reasons is the bean counters have watched the spreadsheet, and that cell is still red. It hasn't turned black yet. And the second that cell turns red, then they're gonna move. But right now they're not doing it. Anyway, so I think this is a serious. I think Ford did good. I think there's a couple things going for it. It's going to help EV adoption. As I said, it's a serious car, and I would tell you, I totally congratulate Ford. I think they're all in on this, because they're putting their Mustang brand on this. So they're not calling this the Escort EV or the, I don't know, what are the other cars they used to sell, but you know, the Taurus EV. They're putting the word Mustang on it, and Mustang as a brand, at least in America, is worth some serious money. It's a major brand that, or label that Ford has protected from the very beginning. So the fact that Ford would put the Mustang brand on their EV means they are serious. They're not like GM. GM says, well, we're going to hold our nose and we're going to come out with this boat EV and we're going to try to kill it as quick as we can. You know, GM wasn't serious, but Ford is serious. And the other thing, the dealers don't want to sell, GM dealers, Chevrolet dealers, they don't want to sell electric cars. And you go to the the Mercedes, they don't want to sell them. The Jaguar, nobody wants to sell them. Well, Ford apparently wants to sell this thing.
But the guy you were just listening to in the car, remind me who that is again?
It's Martin on EV News Daily.
Yeah, he said, you know, the success of it all has to do with, in his opinion, with whether or not specific dealers get behind wanting to sell it and wanting to service it.
Right, but I think because of the internet sales, Ford's going to have leverage on these guys. He's going to say, you're either going to sell the car, dealer, or we're just going to sell it. Have a nice life. I know there's franchise laws and all this stuff, but you know, Tesla's gone a long way in a lot of states, like California, and has beat those down, those franchise laws down. So now, you know, if Tesla can sell cars on the internet, why can't Ford? And I would also tell you, if you're a Ford dealership and you love selling them hot rod Ford Mustangs, all Ford has to do is says, well, your allotment is 5 Mustang E's for every 1 gasoline hot rod Mustang. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. So they can negotiate from there. So I think Ford has a lot of, they're committed. They've got the leverage that they need by doing a serious, real car instead of a toy, the Chevy Bolt. I love the Chevy Bolt, but the Chevy Bolt meets the market needs of about this many people. The Ford E-Stang, probably this much. The Model Y, you know, similar, maybe, you know, the point is it's got a lot of appeal. I think a lot of gearheads, they love Mustangs. You know, you drive up to the party and the girl asks you, well, what kind of car do you drive? Oh, I drive a Chevy Bolt. A what? Or she says, or you say, oh, I drive a Mustang. Which one you gonna go home with?
I would, you know, some guy asked me what the one that'd be the fastest off the line.
Well,
the quietest and the fastest off the
anyway,
line.
my point is, the Mustang brand is real, and Ford, this is I don't know if they thought about it, the marketing people, somebody thought about, I don't know. It's a way to solve the dealer, I don't want to sell EVs. Well, if you don't want to sell EVs, then you ain't going to sell any Mustang. Have a nice life. Make your way, we're selling ourselves. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what they actually deliver. And of course, all this is based on what some hacker or some person discovered on the internet. So every bit of this could be propaganda. Don't know.
Right. So I can hear the fake motor noise now. But if that's what it takes to get some of those guys behind the steering wheel of an EV, yep. Okay, that part I can live with. It's better than the fake noise just with an ICE car for the sound of the fake noise, okay.
Well, you know, they're going to have a tough time, Ford, deciding how much they want to cripple their E-Stang because, you know, they got those GT500s or all these hot rod Mustangs that make all this noise and do 0 to 60 in like 3.8 seconds. And so you know, if this thing is 3.3 seconds, it's going to kind of make those guys in those GT500s look a little silly.
And the only other thing is I want to plead to Ford, okay, this is a plea, to not go the path of the original Model S and put that super fake nose cone on the front of the car where the vents for the radiator are supposed to be, and to revisit the nose cone.
I think that ship sells me.
I don't know.
I think
does it not bring back 2015 Model S?
That's a bridge too far.
I don't know. I think they need to revisit it. Been there, done that already.
I hear you.